I told you guys I was going to be a lot better with the TP tales and the Raider reports, and I am a man of my word. But first things first, happy Thursday, everybody. Yep, it's Thursday. It is near the end of the week. Friday is tomorrow. I am super duper excited for that. And you got the weekend. It's going to be totally awesome. And there's a lot to look forward to. You know, there's going to be a new chapter of One Piece tomorrow. I'm so excited for that. You know, today, there's going to be a new episode of Hot Ones. I have no idea who the guest star is, but then again, I never know. But let's see who takes on the Wings of Death today. Hopefully this time it's actually someone I kind of know. Because, I'll be honest, last week, I had no idea who Anderson .Paak was at all. So, maybe it's going to be someone I know. But we'll just have to wait till 11 o'clock this afternoon to see. So, yeah, also before I continue, what is up with the Los Angeles Dodgers? Come on. I know that the Red Sox are going to have, probably a millennia before they ever catch up to the Yankees in terms of numbers of World Series wins. But have it be longer than that, please. The fact that the Red Sox could potentially catch the Yankees to incapacity at all terrifies me. Go Yankees. Anyway. So, yeah. I think it's time I talk about a personal story as to when I first arrived at Trintiy-Pawling. And that is pretty much the very first thing I did when I arrived there. As I said before, it was, I believe, September 2nd, 2008. I believe it was a Tuesday. And it was the day I was actually driving up. And I knew it was going to be an emotional impact for me in terms as to whether or not I was going to, handle the transition from being able to, be with my family to going to prep school for the first time. And so it didn't really hit me until I had gotten a call from my grandmother on my father's side, telling me that, she loved me. And then I just completely lost it for about a half hour or so. And keep in mind, this is a 3.5 hour drive. Actually, maybe a little less than 3.5, but it was still a pretty long drive. So I get there, and I actually, before I got there, I knew I was going to be doing cross country anyway, seeing as how with football at Trintiy-Pawling, they can only take 4 postgraduates, and they had already picked them up long before I had fully applied in. So there you go. I couldn't do football, so I ended up doing cross country. And I was pretty good about training. I was running, around the time before I left for Trintiy-Pawling, I was running, twice a day before noon. I was actually following a pretty good diet. I actually, believe it or not, I actually tried the Atkins diet for a little while at the time, just to see if that would do anything for me. In some respects, it actually did. But in the end, it was just a thing I did once. That was about it. So I get to Trintiy-Pawling, and immediately when I get to cross-country practice, I meet who would eventually become 2 of the 16 of the right. The head coach and the assistant coach. And the assistant coach is also the head track coach as well. So there you go. It's all interconnected in some way. And right away, I knew the head cross-country coach is going to be vastly different from the Horseheads cross-country and track coach, because for those of you Horseheads alumni who remember the Horseheads cross-country and track coach, he was actually very calm, very, very collected, very, you can make an argument, relatively wise beyond his years. The cross-country coach at Trintiy-Pawling, he was more of a school of hard knocks kind of guy. He was a yeller. if you could literally hear him from the distance yelling, "Move your feet!" And, well, because he also coached hockey as well. So, I guess he wasn't wrong. I mean, you can't finish a race if you stop moving your feet now, can you? There was literally one speed workout day where the day before, and this was literally after, this is like a couple days after, like it was Saturday we had a race, Sunday we had a day off, Monday we pretty much ran this, what was called the Firehouse Loop. Any Trintiy-Pawling alumni who ran cross country would know what this loop is. We run the Firehouse Loop, and immediately when we're done, the assistant cross country coach, who is also the head track coach, says, "I hope you guys enjoy that run because tomorrow's workout you're going to have to race through all that." I'm thinking, oh no, I'm going to die. And then, because, again, we just ran a race and we're basically running another race in a very short period of time. So, it got me nervous. And it actually and the next day, like, I'm the kind of guy who functions on, like, a very much empty stomach. Like, all I had that day was, like, a bottle of water, and that was it. And I had, like, I remember wearing, like, the lightest clothing I had. Like, I was terrified and nervous, but I was also raring to go. And we were given times for this particular Firehouse Loop, and I was given 21:20 as my time that I had to beat. Now, I know for a lot of you guys, for a lot of you who are watching, you're thinking, that's actually kind of slow. You are vastly underestimating how slow I was back in the day. To be honest, I still kind of am, but for different reasons. Anyway, so I actually finished in 21:17, and I remember I was coming to where the finish line for this particular sort of workout was. I remember hearing the head cross country coach yell, "Run!" Because, honestly, I thought someone was behind me and going to pass me. That's why I sprinted at the end. But, I made it to the end with 3 seconds to spare. So 21:17 was my time. And I just remember collapsing completely onto the ground. It was unbelievable. And keep in mind, I was actually doing the varsity workout. Oh, yeah. I was actually good enough to make the top 7, but only just barely. I'll get more into that at another time. But throughout that entire cross-country season, the coaches understood that they saw how hard I was working. And for my size at the time, I was actually pretty fast. In fact, sometimes I wonder what would happen if I actually stuck with cross-country instead of trying to be a lineman for football. But I guess it is what it is. So, at the very end of the year, well, not the end of the year, the end of the fall trimester or whatever, there was a sports award ceremony. And for all my hard work, and actually before I continue, it was actually Parents' Weekend, where I got the idea that, see, our cross-country coach kept mentioning that you're going to be feeling pain a lot during a race. I thought, what would happen if I did something to myself to completely ignore the pain in general? So, during the Parents' Weekend race, which I believe was against Brunswick, I did the only logical thing I could do. I slapped myself in the face, repeatedly, during the race. Particularly around the last 1,000 meters, which is all downhill. It actually kind of worked, to be perfectly honest. I actually ended up telling the coach that, and he laughed. So, we get to the awards ceremony, and, when they get to doing the seniors and postgraduates, the coach says a little something about each and every one of them. But, for me, well, for one thing, the coach did mention that I did smack myself in the face in order to mitigate some of the pain that I was feeling in my feet, because particularly during that Parents' Weekend race, my feet felt like they were on fire. I thought about turning around and seeing I had a trail of fire behind me. I felt like I was running so fast. Anyway, so in the end, where was it? I actually was given this award. Yeah. Well, the actual plaque itself is about, I don't know, 3 times bigger than what this is, with a whole bunch of names on it. This is just sort of a mini plaque, sort of commemorating what I did. The Sean McCabe Award. It's one of those things where, it's the kind of award given for excellence, hard work, stuff like that, which it really didn't hit me how hard I had worked for doing cross country until I got that award. Because, I actually done theater arts class at the time, and we were on stage where the award ceremony was going to be, and there was it wasn't just the Sean McCabe Award plaque, there was a whole bunch of other plaques from all the other sports that were going on. And I saw the Sean McCabe Award, I'm thinking, I wonder who's going to win that this year. Not even remotely thinking it was going to be me. So, yeah. I guess, all that hard work really paid off. And it was through my time doing cross country, winning the Sean McCabe Award, and earning the support of my peers, and especially award applause too, because a lot of people were really rooting for me when I had gotten the award. So a football player who specializes as a lineman, making the top 7 on a cross country team. And granted, admittedly, we really weren't that good, but that's still a huge feat regardless. And through all the support of my brothers, and the support I had gotten from the coaches, as well as just the overall character it built for me, it actually helped me make a decision that I would later come to realize was the literal best thing to ever happen to me. And when it comes down to it, when it came down to it, and don't get me wrong, there are times I was, horrified at racing. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. And I wasn't very fast at all. In fact, at both Founders and New England's, I almost finished dead last in the varsity race. So that really does go to show you just how slow I was. But then again, it also kind of shows how not very good we were. But in the end, my teammates had my back and I had theirs. We all support each other. And I had to fight tooth and nail to keep my number 7 spot, which I ultimately did, but it wasn't easy. And the fact that I had to cope with being away from home, that was difficult too. Especially when I found out that my cat had died about a week and a half before my parents arrived to see me for the first time. Not for Parents' Weekend, this was before that. So, it was hard. But lots of things in life are hard. But if you continue to work hard, as the assistant cross-country coach once said, who's also the head track coach at Trintiy-Pawling, actually I think he's still the head track coach now, he once said the following: if you continue to work hard, you can become awesome. To the point where you can shock the world. That should tell you something right there about what Trintiy-Pawling did for me. And that's only a small sample of what it did for me overall. So, to any of my brothers out there who ran cross country with me, you guys know who you are. Thank you. Thank you for actually helping me make a decision that I ultimately wouldn't be here without. So, thank you. And on that note, please like, favorite, share, and hit that subscribe button. I could really use the support on YouTube. Follow me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, social media platforms, or whatever. I'm very humbled I made this video. For all of you guys to watch and enjoy for today. I'm hopeful that we all have a wonderful Thursday. And remember, if any of you guys ever want to talk or chat, I'll always be here to lend an ear. And I'll always have your back. So take care, everybody.